This is about letting kids be kids.
We want children to have their childhood, and we want parents to have peace of mind.
The countdown is over. On December 10, Australia pulls the plug. After a year of preparation, the Online Safety Amendment Act enters its enforcement phase, making it legal for social media giants to allow anyone under 16 to hold an account in Australia. The rationale is tough. The Australian government calls algorithms behavioural cocaine, citing a mental health emergency where social media is a vehicle for scammers and a platform for peer pressure.
This is about letting kids be kids. It's also about empowering parents to be able to have those discussions with their children.
We want children to have their childhood, and we want parents to have peace of mind. So this reform will not just change a law, it will change a generation.
The numbers speak for themselves. Studies show anxiety spikes, sleep deprivation, and a generation lost to doom scrolling. This law aims to break this cycle by shifting liability entirely onto the platforms, not the parents or the kids. Canberra's response is radical. Australia will become the first country to legally ban children under 16 from most major social media platforms. From December 10, apps like Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Snapchat, YouTube, X, Reddit, Twitch, and others must take reasonable steps to detect and delete child accounts, or risk fines up to 50 million Australian dollars for systematic breaches. But implementation is a logistical nightmare. Meta has already begun purging accounts, demanding government IDs or video selfies to verify age, a move privacy advocates call a surveillance disaster. The burden is on big tech, not on kids. Australia's e-safety commissioner will send legal notices to at least 10 platforms from December 11, demanding numbers on child accounts that they have closed. Those reports must then be filed every month for 6 months. If the regulator finds systematic breaches with patterns of under 16s still active, the case can go up to the court, where judges can impose penalties all the way up to that of $50 million cap.
See, I think the Australian government is very well prepared, and the Attorney General is supporting, the Prime Minister is supporting this Online Safety Amendment Act, which is an Australian federal law which prohibits social media platforms. The implementation has come into being. I can vouch for it because even my Instagram that has been taken off, and I've been asked to post my ID where they want to determine my age. And I think this will go a long way in determining the well-being of children under 16. I still remember, like around more than 10 years ago, a similar public interest litigation was filed by me against a similar video game which was coming online and which was asking children to commit suicide, or they was challenging, and the courts had come in favor of banning that in a big way. Similarly, in Australia, the government is very keen, and they want to safeguard the well-being of children. It has come to light through various health reports of the government, wherein anxiety, bullying, and various other mental health issues have come into being because of children having access to social media platforms.
With fines up to 50 million Australian dollar looming from December 10 and monthly reporting mandated, how realistic is Australia's enforcement of the under 16 social media ban against tech giants like Meta and Google, who are already pushing back? Google says anyone in Australia under 16 will be signed out of YouTube and lose features like playlists, comments, and subscription using age data from Google account and other signals to identify who is underage. Meta, owner of Facebook, Instagram and Threads, has started removing suspected under-16 accounts. Users wrongly kicked off will have to prove that they are 16 or older through an age verification partner using the government IDs or a video selfie. But the giants aren't happy. Google calls the law rushed and says it misunderstands how young Australians use its platforms. Meta warns about barriers for genuine users. The Australian government, however, says this is exactly what parents demanded, while experts warn that ban could backfire, pushing teens from regulated apps to the unpoliced corners of the dark web.
See, whenever a law comes into being, there is always a chance of it being violated one way or the other. But that doesn't stop the governments or the agencies in implementation of those laws. So I think merely the ground that there will be other ways of getting over it doesn't make it less powerful, or that the implementation will not be that proper. I think making of law is, in principle, the policy which the government wants to follow.
As platforms like YouTube sign out minors and Meta requires ID video selfies for verification, will this create a safer digital childhood in Australia or drive the kids underground to unregulated dark web alternatives? The psychology is complex. It is a forced digital detox. But will stripping away online communities cure depression or cause isolation?
This Australia ban has been in waiting for quite some time. There have been various debates in Australia about it. Overall, it is a welcome change and a welcome ban. All of us are realizing more and more that exposure to various social media, increasing screen time, is increasing problems of mental and behavioral nature in the adolescent and young adults.
Drawing from studies showing 95% teen social media addiction rates, will Australia's outright ban reduce anxiety and depression spikes in under 16s? Or will suppressed usage explode into riskier offline rebellion?
In the most short-term way, it should show that they have in place the mechanisms to control the anxiety and the agitation of the young people. They do produce enough campaigns around people, educate parents, educate children, run school campaigns to educate people the reason of doing. See, the psychiatric and psychological fraternity must bring out the reasons more clearly. In 6 months, there can be scientific studies that show reduced impulsivity, aggression, depressive effect, suicidal effect, and in more or less 6 months, the immediate effect of the ban should go away and more people should gradually come into plan.
As Malaysia follows with 2026 ban and EU nations watch closely, what psychological benchmarks must Australia hit in 6 months to prove this model protects the brain over big tech profits? For India, with its massive young population, the question is pertinent. Could the Digital India Act adopt this Canberra model?
It's a very, deep question. Like, the problem lies actually much deeper. Like, we are saying let's ban people, let's ban kids who are below 16. But is that the solution to the question, solution to the problem? Not really, in my opinion. See, I was 17 or 18 when I started my business, and it was in the digital space. And today everything is digital. And banning people, banning kids from social media up to the age of 16, will it lead to a better society? Will it lead to a better teen age? Will it lead to a better, person who has a better knowledge? If social media was banned back in the day when I was starting up, my career, I don't think I would have been able to run a successful company, even do my research, even find people, like-minded people in the same arena. Today's world is a social world. Like, humans are social animals, social beings. And in the social world, if we are banning, and see, in the past, social used to be offline. Now social is online. And if we are banning kids from under 16 from getting onto social media channels at all, it is going to do more harm than good.
But the privacy cost is high. To prove that you are 17, you must have to hand over your key document to the tech giants.
People will use VPNs. Absolutely, kids will, bypass the security, like all the blocks. And what will happen is the way of these bypasses, the way, the VPN, through VPNs, they will, firstly, there'll be a series of new apps, series of new, players who will be much less safer than what the social media platforms, these tier A social media platforms are. And then the probability of getting hacked through using a VPN, the probability, like, maybe someone might try to go through the dark web to access these platforms. So all these things will reduce our security, and hence, it will not make the world a better place.
As the sun sets on the era of unrestricted scrolling, Australia takes a gamble, betting that a childhood offline is a childhood saved. Whether it works or fails, the digital world will never be the same.